Alright, hello everyone, and today I'm going to be talking about video games and whether or not it's a good idea to let little kids play with them if you are talking about brain development and how they should learn certain skills. I'm not going to be talking about what everyone's saying about video games. You know, they usually are like super violent and they have like this ridiculous sexual content, because all of that can be rated and controlled. So once a good control has been applied over those things, there's just a limited type of video games available for kids, and the one that stands out the most usually is educational video games. So by their name, you just get it that the purpose is so the kid can learn something from it. And this really interesting sociologist was talking about how educational video games are so rich in visual content that the kid can easily relate to those things because they usually understand shapes and colors very quickly instead of words or complex instructions. And the level of involvement that there is in the video game usually also helps them retaining the information a little bit more, because they're the ones that have to click on the elephant and pick the right color and move things around. So there's, even if it's minimal, there's some physical interaction with it, and that kind of pushes the kids to feel more related to what they're doing. There's a give and take thing between this console, computer, whatever, and the kid. But surprisingly enough, not only educational games are pretty good for them, but just an average, say, racing game. There's this guy, I think he's a psychologist. He published a book, and he was talking about how this one time he was playing with his little nephew who's 8 years old or something, and they were playing a racing game, and the kid was skilled enough to see the screen, understand what he was supposed to do, win the game, give instructions to his aunt to let him win the game somehow, and at the same time get in the first place. So it's he was surprised by how he was able to manage all this information and be smart enough and quick enough to answer to every single problem that was put in front of him and do good with all of it. So it's with video games also, kids are trying to people are noticing that a lot of brain skills that are supposed to come later, later age, are being gained by them through those kind of things, because they have to focus in order to win the game, and they have to develop a certain amount of muscle memory to keep up with it. But just like everything else, they also need some sort of limitations, because video games, a lot of people are saying that they kind of stimulate the same area of the brain that is being stimulated with certain drugs and certain other addictive type of activities like gambling, because there's a relationship of, if you do something, I'll give you a prize, and if you don't get it, you're going to get mad, so you want to try again. So it really hooks you up to it. So it's just about the parents on how you want to use them. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bad things out there, just with movies, music, and books. But if you pick the right stuff, then it's going to be helpful. That's it.